welcome to my channel. This will be the first episode in the Abyss Rushing Guide series. For today, we will be focusing on the Paladin, because he is by far the easiest class to rush abysses on besides rope, even without a good pet. Let us start by looking at the Paladin's maxed stats. He has 30 def, which is pretty nice, but when compared to a warrior wearing a helm, or a knight, the Paladin is still outclassed in terms of defense. He has 55 speed, which is nice, but is not a lot better than the knight, and is definitely not as good as the speedy buff for warrior. He has 50 attack, 40 vitality, and disgustingly low dexterity at 45. Finally, he caps life at 770, pretty good, mana at 252, and wis at 75. Taking all this into consideration, the Paladin's stats aren't by any means amazing. In fact, they could be considered pretty bad. But the thing that sets the Paladin apart from any other class is his extremely versatile ability, the seal. The seal has 4 functions. Number 1, upon using the seal, the user and surrounding allies are granted 2 temporary buffs, damaging and healing. Damaging gives a damage multiplier of 1.5, so if your sword hit 100 before, it would hit 150. Healing increases the health regeneration by 20 health points per second. 20 HP per second is equivalent to a max rare healing pet. Number 2, the user and surrounding allies are given a temporary buff that increases the maximum amount of health points possible. The duration and amount of temporary health gain is determined by the amount of wisdom that the Paladin has. The more wisdom, the higher, the longer, the more health granted. However, not only does the maximum amount of health points increase, the seal also instantaneously heals the group similarly to the stone. Fun fact, the seal is the only thing that can heal a player when sick, nothing else. As you can see, the Paladin's seal really is a game changer. You don't judge a book by the cover. Wow, I sound retarded. Anyways, back to the actual rushing part. Adding the fact that the seal gives instant health, a rare healing pet, the ability to destroy enemies in one shot, and increases your health for error margin, the Paladin can equal or even surpass the tankiness of the knight. There are many variations on what setup you should use to rush and abyss, and in the end, it is up to preference. However, I like to use off-center and rotation, keeping the mouse directly behind my character, because this allows me to kill the mob following me while using only one hand. But I know people who use centered and 45-degree angle, and they can rush way faster than me, so it is up to you. I just like to use one hand because I can eat peanut butter sandwiches with my other hand. Now I will elaborate tips specifically for the Paladin. Because the Paladin has less defense than the warrior and knight, this means that the enemies tend to hit harder. When rushing abysses, I have 3 options. 1. I tank the enemy shots. 2. I go into the lava and avoid enemy shots. And 3. I nexus. As a Paladin, I have adapted my gameplay so that I choose walking in lava more often than tanking enemy shots simply because tanking the enemy shots would result in more damage. This is not the case, however, with warrior and knight. For the Paladin, lava doesn't hurt that bad. After all, lava is predictable, and you know that each tile will only do a maximum of 50 damage. You don't know how much damage a stacked shotgun will deal. On top of that, Paladins can regenerate health way more rapidly than knights or warriors because of the double health regeneration buff. Press the space bar, instant health and a temporary max rare healing pet. Another option I forgot to mention was backing up into the previous room. I do not recommend doing this, because there might be a shotgun waiting for you, and, as I said before, the Paladin does not handle shotguns too well. This leads us to how the Paladin should deal with dead ends. When you hit a dead end, there are 2 situations that you will find. 1. The room is not a lava room. When this happens, just go to the far corner of the room, wait until the shots almost hit you, and go to the opposite corner. Or if there are no mobs following you, simply turn back and continue. 2. The room is filled with lava. Applying the knowledge we learned above, we know that if there is a potential shotgun behind us, we should take lava over shotgun. That being said, I like to go directly behind the wall connecting the dead-end room and the room before and instantly double back through the hallway. This way, the enemies don't have time to react and I can rush right through them. Once you reach boss, kill at least 3 white demons, and kill Malthus. I have to say, the boss is fairly disappointing when compared to the dungeon. However, a quick way to kill Malthus is to sit on him with the D-blade, and move your cursor slightly left and right, or up and down so the minions don't get in the way of your shots. Or you could circle, but that takes effort. To conclude, the Paladin is great at rushing abysses, and if you want to try rushing an abyss, pick the Paladin.